Now, can you imagine a mine sharing territory with the wildlife conservation area and still having to achieve its goals without causing harm to the environment? Well, that's the balancing act facing Palabora Mining Company, South Africa's leading copper producer located in Palabora, Limpopo. The mine shares space with the world-famous Kruger National Park, which is home to the Big Five and many other animal and plant species. Newzroom Africa's Mweli Masilela explained how the mine has managed to produce copper and at the same time protect the wildlife. Mweli, a very good morning to you. It's quite obvious that conducting mining operations in an area like this could have a devastating impact if not handled carefully. How is the mine managing this balancing act?
Yes, indeed, Mpo. This is an interesting situation considering the fact that this mine has been running for more than 50 years now, and it's sharing space, as we have said, with the world-renowned Kruger National Park. And I can tell you that indeed it's quite a balancing act, because as much as we know that mining is more focused on profit, but at the same time you have to look into the issue of the wildlife, because we are seeing tourists coming through, both domestic and international tourists coming through to South Africa, mainly to visit the Kruger National Park, to have a glimpse of the Big Five. Maybe my colleague Ritu Metsi will show you behind me. That's the mine, and also there is some antelopes at this stage that are here inside the mine. And we are told also by mine management that at some times you'll spot even lions and buffalo, which is the Big Five. So basically the workers here at this mine, they are doubling up also as rangers at some point, if I'm allowed to say that, because they are not only focusing on the kind of job that they are employed for here, because they also have to be conversant with the issues of conservation. So that's the current situation. But looking also into investment into the community, the mine is very much also committed to ensure that the people living just adjacent the mine, as well as the Kruger National Park, are also being involved in terms of awareness, to say that this is how they are supposed to conduct themselves, because they are actually living or staying just adjacent to the Kruger National Park as well as the mine. Let me bring in the manager responsible for transformation, stakeholder engagement, as well as communication here at Palabora Mine. His name is A.B. Ledwaba. Quite a difficult situation to manage. If you can tell us how have you managed to do this? We understand that you've partnered with UNISA in terms of conducting research to make this coexistence of animals and human beings possible. But if you can just give us in detail, how are you doing it?
Good morning to you and to all the viewers. As Palabora Mining Company, we are positioned in a very convenient environment where we are bordering the Kruger National Park. And as a mine, we have taken a resolution to ensure that we are not going to impact the environment where we operate. We believe that the environment that we have under our stewardship, we are actually we have learned the environment from our children and grandchildren. So we have to preserve this environment, hand it over to our children and grandchildren in the near future. That is why we are operating in a wildlife sanctuary. So every day, if you are lucky, you are able to spot an elephant. For those that are really special, they spot lions. Buffaloes are things that we see. Antelopes, we see them like every day. So we believe that we have to preserve the environment, because it's a right thing to do. Now, in this environment, we are one of the leading companies around here in Palabora. Actually, we are the heartbeat of Palabora, in the sense that we are employing about 2,800 permanent employees and 4,200 contractor employees. So we are technically taking care of about 7,000 employees. And if you take the dependency factor into account of one employed person taking care of 5 other people, you realize that we are taking care of about 35,000 people within our local community. So we are taking care of the employees. We're also taking care of the local communities. We are investing heavily on socio-economic development projects, which includes building of schools, rehabilitation of streets. We are constructing new roads. We are rehabilitating the sewer pumps stations within town. And also on enterprise and supply development, we have benefited about 600 people, which we believe that it is a direct benefit to our local communities. So we are really putting our investment into the development of these local communities.
Now let's talk about the issue of safety. You're talking about buffaloes, lions being spotted here. Are there any specific programs that along like training the workers here, because like literally they become rangers as well?
Look, training is something that we do every day. We actually have a dedicated department responsible for training, and we also provide training to our employees for them to interact safely with the wildlife. And as a matter of principle, you can live in the same space with animals for as long as you are, comfortable with them and understand them better. The principle is you cannot run faster than most of the animals. So if you interact with them, you must know their behavior, and we are taught how to behave around animals. And take it from me, we have never had an incident where somebody was trampled by an elephant or attacked by a lion. So we know how to interact with our nature.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us, Mpho. That's Ntate Ebile Dwaba. He's the manager, transformation, stakeholder engagement, as well as communication here at Palabora Mine. I think this is a story that actually tells you that wildlife as well as human beings can coexist, and also while the mine is interested in generating profit, also they are trying to make sure that conservation is also a priority, because also tourism is a key aspect of the South African economy. From here, Mpho will be moving to other communities to look into some of those social responsibility initiatives that are being implemented by the mine. It's back to you, Mpho.
Yeah, Mweli, a very heartwarming story indeed. And just before we let you go, how many of the big five have you spotted this morning?
We haven't been lucky as yet, Mpho, but they're saying that they'll take us around. We're hoping that at least we will be able to spot one of the big five. So far, what we've seen is baboons and some impala, which is something that is very common when you drive into the Kruger National Park. You can't leave the park without seeing impala. So we are hoping that as soon as we are done here, we'll be able to move around and see and spot perhaps a lion or a leopard. That's what I'm interested in seeing today, Mpho.
Very well, Mweli Masilela. Let's leave it there for now.